everyone, so in this lesson we're going to be reviewing box plots. I did post a worksheet on Google Classroom to go along with this video, so if you haven't done so already, you can print that out. Also for this lesson, you're going to want to have your calculator out in front of you. Okay, so box plots, which are also known as box and whisker plots, are one of the many methods of representing data. Okay, so you'll see there's an example shown below here. Okay, so this is a box plot. All right, so a box plot shows you your minimum value in your data set. It shows you your 3 quartiles, and it shows you your maximum. Okay, so in a box plot, the box represents the interquartile range, right? So remember that's Q3 minus Q1. And 50% of data lies in this interval. All right. Also, in a box plot, outliers are not counted as true maximum or minimums. And when present, they're plotted as an asterisk. All right, so let's take a look at an example. All right, so we want to construct a box plot for the data shown below. So the first thing we want to do is find the 5-number summary. All right, so the 5-number summary is the following pieces of information. It's the minimum, the maximum, and the 3 quartiles. That's what makes up the 5-number summary. So we want to find the minimum, our 3 quartiles. So remember that the 2nd quartile is also known as the median. Q3, and our maximum. Okay, so we can very easily obtain the 5-number summary from our calculator. All right, so I'm going to go to my calculator, go to Stat, Edit, clear my list, and then I'm going to type in my data entries. So we got 14, 30, 16, 20, 18, 16, 20, 18, 22, 13, and 8. All right, and again, definitely go through and make sure you typed the data values in the calculator correctly. All right, so now we're going to go to Stat, scroll over to Calculate, 1-bar stats. All right, and if we scroll down, you'll see our calculator does a really nice job of generating that 5-number summary. So our minimum is 8, Q1, or the first quartile, is 14, my median, or Q2, is 18, Q3 is 20, and the maximum is 30. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. Okay, second thing we want to do is now we want to perform the outlier test. Okay, so hopefully you remember to do the outlier test, we look at the lower bound and the upper bound. Okay, so first we want to find the IQR. So remember, IQR, interquartile range, is Q3 minus Q1. All right, so Q3 is 20. Q1 is 14. If we subtract that, we get 6. All right, so then we look for data values below Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR, right? That's the formula that we use. Okay, so Q1 is 14, and we just found that the IQR is 6. All right, So 14 minus 1.5 times 6 is going to be 5. All right, so now I go back up to my data, and I want to see, are there any data values in my set that are below 5? Okay, so it doesn't look like we have any data values below 5. So right now there's no outlier. Okay, so now let's test the upper bound. So now we want to see, are there values above Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR? Okay, so Q3 is 20. And my IQR is 6. So 20 plus 1.5 times 6 is going to be 29. All right, so I'm going to scroll back up to my data. And we're looking for any data values above 29. And we see that 30 is an outlier. Okay. All right, no other data values above 29. So 30 is our only outlier. Okay, so again, outliers are not considered true maximums. So we're going to reject 30 as the maximum. And then we got to look at our data set and figure out, if we reject 30, what's the maximum in that situation? So if we get rid of 30, the next highest value is 22. So we're going to use 22 as the maximum. Okay, so again, we found the 5-number summary, which is your minimum, your maximum, your 3 quartiles, and then we did the outlier test. Okay, so now we're going to actually construct the box plot. All right, so first thing we have to do is we have to come up with a scale. So we're representing data that goes from 8 all the way up to 30. Okay, so you can use whatever scale you want. So if I'm going from 8 to 30, all right, I'm going to make my scale go by 2s. Okay, so I'm going to start at 8. And I'm just going to extend this a little bit. Whoops. Sorry, Smartboard's not cooperating with me. We'll go like this. And 30. Okay, so there's my number line. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to place a dot above the minimum. So my minimum is 8. We're going to place a dot above Q1, which was 14. A dot above the median, or Q2, which was 18, a dot above Q3, which was 20, and then a dot above my maximum, which we now said was 22. Okay. Above 30, since that's the outlier, we put a little asterisk. Okay, so outliers get an asterisk. All right, then what we do is we're going to draw a vertical segment through the 3 quartiles. All right, and then you're going to connect the tops of those vertical segments and the bottoms. So that's your little box. Then you connect Q3 to your maximum and Q1 to your minimum. All right, and that's your box plot, which is also known as a box and whisker plot. Okay, so again, the values shown inside of the box, which represents the interquartile range, always represents 50% of your data. Okay, so here 50% of the data falls in between 14 and 20. All right, so that's how we construct a box plot. Okay, so I did actually write out the steps for you in your notes, so if you need to refer to those, you certainly can. All right, and then we're going to go through another example together. All right, so we'll skip over number 2 and we'll take a look at number 3 together.